Hey guys, hi! In this video, I'd like to explain to you how the Bomber Corporation Expert Advisor works, which I recently published on the MQL5 market. And I'd like to explain to you the operating principle, the strategy inside this advisor, and how this trading bot makes money. I think this video will be quite interesting for everyone, both beginners and more experienced traders, for those who have already bought this advisor or are still hesitating to do so. Now I'll explain everything to you in detail. So, deep inside the sophisticated Bomber Corporation's highly advanced automated trading system, you will find my meticulously crafted manual trading system, which is specifically and precisely called Bomber. Yes, you can see that the logos are similar. I did this intentionally to show that they are, so to speak, related. So this indicator is included within this automated trading algorithm. Let's switch to the MT5 platform so I can show you how it works. So the platform is open and the price chart is displayed. I'll just drag the divergence bomber indicator onto the price chart. Here, I'll proceed to enable the sophisticated self-optimization algorithm, which is specifically designed to make the indicator automatically adjust and indeed meticulously optimize itself in such a precise and effective way as to consistently show us the very best and most reliable trading signals available. You see, it found a bunch of trades over the last 5,000 bars. It found a lot of trades. It finds these trades according to the divergence trading strategy. So in fact, Divergence Bomber is a system, a special algorithm that analyzes the price chart and the dynamics of the MACD oscillator line. This is my own custom indicator, specially created based on the standard one. Let me show you now. In the MetaTrader 5 platform, there is the MACD indicator. Let's drag it over. And here we have this particular indicator, which is clearly displayed as a visual histogram with distinct bars like this. I have carefully created an advanced indicator that is prominently displayed as a dynamic oscillator line. So, this particular MACD indicator meticulously analyzes the intricate market behavior of a specific trading asset in a very precise and comprehensive manner. It then clearly shows us this distinctive kind of price movement in the visually compelling and easily understandable form of a detailed histogram, just like this one you see here. As you can clearly observe, the distinct waves and undulations of this particular histogram correspond directly to the significant waves and fluctuations of the price movement. For example, if we examine this specific point, we can identify the absolute highest point on the MACD histogram, indicating a strong upward momentum. Concurrently, at precisely the same moment, we can observe a prominent and well-defined peak on the corresponding price chart, signifying a local maximum in the asset's valuation. The same goes here and here as well. Or for instance, here is the lowest point, and on the price chart, this is also the lowest bottom point. It shows us all the peaks and all the troughs on the price chart very clearly. So, this is precisely how it meticulously analyzes the various quotes, and the sophisticated divergence bomber strategy comprehensively analyzes the intricate price chart, carefully analyzes the MACD. Let me just remove this particular extra part for clarity, and then precisely finds the significant difference or the noticeable discrepancy between them, which is commonly called divergence. So for example, here's what it looks like. By the way, I've placed a line here at the very peak of the MACD indicator. Here, I have carefully placed it on the immediately neighboring low, on the adjacent dip, which is quite significant. So we have two dips on the MACD and two dips on the price chart. But between them, between these distinct dips, there is a notable difference. The fundamental difference is that here, this is indeed the absolute lowest point. The very next point is a bit higher. But on the MACD, it's precisely the opposite. Here, this is the comparatively less low point, and here, it's the lower point. See? And now I'll draw a line between them. There's already a line here, but I'll draw another one. Here the slope is downward, and here the slope is upward. And when we find such a divergence, such a difference, just like here, although for some reason the indicator didn't detect it. But this indicator isn't a super brain. Sometimes it misses things. For example, here we have an upward slope, but on the indicator, there's a downward slope. And so, Look, when such significant divergences occur, let's say when you can clearly and visually perceive the distinct difference in the slopes of the price movements, then we can confidently assert, with a very high and undeniable degree of accuracy and certainty, that the price chart will inevitably move in the precise direction that effectively eliminates this particular and noticeable divergence, thereby restoring equilibrium to the market dynamics. In this particular case, we can clearly observe that this was indeed a significant bearish divergence, and consequently, the price chart will inevitably move in a downward direction, precisely because here we are specifically discussing the formation of peaks, more precisely, two distinct peaks. And conversely, when there are two discernible troughs, that unequivocally indicates a bullish divergence. That means the price chart and the oscillator line will move upward. Indeed, in a very large and substantial number of cases, after carefully identifying such significant and notable divergences, there is a truly immense and overwhelming probability, well over 90%, that the prices will inevitably move in a certain predictable direction, demonstrating a clear and consistent trend. When we have a bullish divergence, that is, when we have two lows, the prices will rise, and they really do rise. Here, they have risen to this point. If we have a bearish divergence, where there are two peaks that move in a different direction than on the oscillator, then we can say that the prices will decrease. And indeed, here, they are decreasing in this direction. So, the indicator effectively identifies and highlights all such significant divergences on the comprehensive price chart. You can see that there are quite a lot of them. And by the way, this particular system works literally and effectively on virtually any currency pair you can imagine. And, as I have previously stated, it optimizes itself automatically and efficiently. We can then proceed to take another financial asset, such as the Australian dollar traded against the United States dollar, and subsequently apply the highly effective Divergence Bomber indicator to it, observing its performance and insights. Here it is for me. So now it will update. Here we also have some extensive trading history that this particular indicator has found, well, in the past, over a significant period of time. And we can reasonably assume that this is precisely how the system will continue to trade in the future. Of course, historical performance is not a definitive guarantee of similar performance going forward, but it provides a valuable insight into its potential. But this system will continue to provide similarly accurate signals in the future. But this is not the magic grail. Let me zoom in on the price chart for you so you understand why I say this is not a magic grail. Look, here we found a divergence and it really was there. This was a divergence between two peaks. But the price did not go down. There was a certain number of bars where the price went down, but then it started to rise and the trade closed at a loss. And here there was a divergence and the trade closed with a profit. And for example, here there was a significant divergence between these two distinct lows, which is quite noticeable. As I explained to you, for instance, on the price chart, this is an upward slope, while on the indicator chart, it's a downward slope. And we can see that there is a divergence here between these clearly defined peaks. And after that, we can say that this is a bullish divergence, and the price chart will start to rise actively. And this actually happened for us as well. And in this section, we captured this amount of profit in points. So in this way, we move along the price chart using the Divergence Bomber indicator, trading, identifying all these divergences, and trading based on them. So the primary indicator, or rather, the highly sophisticated and meticulously developed Bomber Corporation Expert Advisor that we are currently discussing at this very moment, which I have recently and comprehensively published for public access and review, operates entirely and exclusively based upon the intricate and well-established principles of this advanced divergence bomber system. In other words, at its core is this algorithm that detects divergences, and the expert advisor automatically trades based on these divergences. So, everything I've talked about and shown you works inside this advisor completely automatically. In the future, I plan to optimize this trading bot for trading metals. That is, it will be a portfolio, for example, gold, silver, platinum. It will also be a portfolio with stock indices. That is, it will include the DAX, S&P 500, and other indices from different countries around the world. It will also include a comprehensive array of valuable assets from the dynamic cryptocurrency market. So this will encompass prominent cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin, Ether, and various other highly interesting and potentially lucrative digital assets on which we can actively trade and potentially earn substantial profits. But overall, I am making this detailed video to clearly show what truly lies at the very core and fundamental heart of the innovative Bomber Corporation system. How exactly does it think? Now the next point. How does it close trades, and why does it close them in this particular way and not some other way? When users tell me that, for example, a certain profit percentage was reached, but then the price reversed and went back, why did that happen? Why didn't the expert advisor close this trade? Well, look, the primary indicator at the very heart of this sophisticated advisor meticulously draws precise lines from the exact moment it initially gives a clear signal. Let's say, for instance, right here at this specific point in time, extending all the way up to the precise point where the fluctuating quotes definitively touch the crucial zero level of the powerful MACD oscillator, which is a widely recognized technical analysis tool. Here they are. Between these two distinct and clearly defined vertical lines, we carefully and precisely draw a single, continuous line to be more accurate and to ensure a higher degree of precision in our representation. And here it is. We draw a line, or rather the indicator draws a line, right here, and we have a certain percentage of profit. The profit points are published here, and then they are calculated here in the indicator, and we can already see the consolidated overall statistics for all the signals. So the expert advisor, just like the indicator does, closes trades at the moment when the MACD line touches the central level. In the same way, we can see it here. There was a significant and notable trade that occurred after a clear bearish divergence was observed, specifically a sell trade, and we meticulously closed this particular trade at the precise moment the indicator line definitively touched the crucial zero level, subsequently realizing a considerable and satisfactory profit from this successful transaction. Yes, right here. And let's say it's here or here or here. Also, to filter trading signals, I have added some additional trading indicators to the expert advisor. I won't talk about them. Let this intricate system have certain subtle nuances that will remain completely unknown to you, so that not just anyone can easily and precisely replicate this entire system. Therefore, I won't be specifying all the details, such as exactly how divergence is detected using the Bomber divergence and which filter indicators are used here. Please understand my position. I am protecting my copyright. As for the operating principles, I believe I have explained them to you in enough detail for you to understand what works and how here. And overall, I will now comprehensively demonstrate to you that there are indeed instances of losing trades. Specifically, that is to say, when the expert advisor, an automated trading program, unfortunately incurs a financial loss. It is crucial for you to understand that this type of loss, which can be a significant setback, can also readily occur with a manual trading system where human intervention dictates the trades. Therefore, just like any other sophisticated expert advisor or indeed any trading methodology, there are inherently both periods of financial losses and periods of highly profitable trades that contribute to the overall performance. And so you understand that after every loss comes, let's say here, there was a loss. We looked at it, right? We had a divergence, a bullish divergence, and it was quite strong. Here are two peaks, and here are two peaks. And in theory, the price should be rushing downward at full speed. But the market always, or rather very often, gives us false signals. In this particular way, the expert advisor, much like this manual trading system, clearly shows us a potential sell trade, but the market unfortunately goes in the opposite direction, and on the subsequent pullback, when the price precisely touches the zero level, we then close this trade with a relatively small loss. Although, of course, the expert advisor will inherently utilize a stop-loss mechanism, which, for example, will precisely place the stop somewhere around this specific level, so that if the market experiences a sudden jerk and shoots significantly upward, we can effectively close the trade. Of course, the financial loss incurred will be greater than in this particular case, but it absolutely won't be maximal or indeed fatally detrimental for our overall trading account. So, my dear friends, this comprehensive system actually possesses a pretty solid and well-defined trading strategy. I'm talking about the Bomber Corporation Expert Advisor. It has a real trading system inside, not some kind of fake. It's not a counterfeit, not a rigged story. In short, let's put it this way. I'm a responsible seller, and this expert advisor runs on a genuinely good trading strategy that I've been using since 2015. So that's about 10 years. I've tested this system myself on the real market for a very long time, as have many others who bought Divergence's Bomber and left positive reviews here. Bomber Corporation will work in exactly the same way. It will generate profits for all of us. I mean those who have purchased this system. That's all for now. See you next time.